morning, everyone. How's it going? I'm Jenny. Thanks for tuning in as always. I'm going to be talking about this week's cosmic vibes. What are you guys going to be feeling and expecting every day? How we can utilize and work through these energies, why this is happening, and when to utilize each day and how. So, before I begin, make sure you hit that little subscribe button right down there in the corner in order to get videos and content. And for those of you who know, I do monthly free readings here right on YouTube. So the next free clairvoyant psychic reading is on May 31st, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, or 11 a.m. Pacific, where you can ask me a question and I will give you what messages I am seeing that's coming through from the spirit world. I'm a psychic clairvoyant medium, Akashic past life records reader, animal communicator, and I read into your level of consciousness to see where you're at and what messages are specifically for you. So let's get started right now. What's coming up? Like, can you believe it? We're already in May. Oh my gosh, right? Like, oh my God. Thank goodness we have springtime vibes here. Don't know where you're at. You could be in a different season. We never know what to expect, and May is such an interesting month, like it's better for you guys to really go back and watch my predictions video that I did for this year for 2025. What I have predicted has happened and is already happening and so on. So this is the month where you kind of have to be careful as well, for many reasons. I had predicted a few things, of course, and I had also mentioned like volcano eruptions and so on and so on and so on. Our earth is getting shooken and rattled and thrown around from Mother Nature because of the energy of the world. You know what I mean? Like there's different energies, harsh energies, that's the so-called leaders and so on, when it's war, when it's this, when it's that destruction of what they're doing to the planet, it affects Mother Nature. So what happens? Mother Nature's like, you know what? You're not respecting me, so I'm going to throw it right back. I'm not respecting you. Things shake up. Energy is energy. I'm just saying. So just be kind of careful when you're out there traveling around and so on and so on. Like, don't stop your travels, but just kind of, be more mindful, especially whenever you're traveling to certain places and areas and so on. I mean, I might be able to get away this month myself. I don't know yet. It just depends. But things could get a little disrupted, right? So just kind of use caution right now and look back actually to like November, December of 2024, like really look back onto those months. Like what was happening then? What was going on? What were you dealing with? Especially, if it was something more major, right? I mean, we have stuff we deal with all the time. There's challenges and good, bad, and ugly, as I call it. But when there was certain things that are happening, like I moved November 1st, right? Myself, like October 31st, I found out that I was moving as of November 1st. I wasn't even packed at all, right? So, like, just certain things like that, like, if it was like major things that were going on in your life, major moves, or if it was surgeries, if it was like, like huge new jobs, like, just certain things like that. Really reflect back to that time, see where you were, where are you now today? Like, what is going on today? You're going to even see that more this week. So, if you're having like huge health issues, let's just say, for an example, right? We all have different stuff. You might be seeing more of those results coming this week that, wow, I'm healing and I'm moving on. Or certain things that you might have ignored, you could be like, oh my gosh, I wished I would have dealt with it then. However, it's a brand new day, brand new month, new beginning at any time. It doesn't have to be a new beginning like January 1st, like when we're like, you know what, I'm making New Year's resolutions. Yes, absolutely. You can change your destiny at any given time. It doesn't matter when it feels right for you, when you're ready to make certain changes, and don't be hard on yourself. Like we all go through stuff. We all go through things. I mean, I've had setbacks myself, recently we all do. And it's like, you know what? Okay, I had to deal with that. I had to get that done and out of the way, whatever it is. Now we can begin again. Now we can, deal with that. Now we can, I absorb so much energy that it does affect me. You have no idea, right? I've had like nonstop doctor's appointments here, 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 and there. And even as in my doctor's office the other day, one of them, 45 minutes I was talking to him, kind of that argument, like, but yet it's like, okay, let's have that peace and that calm. I'm going to do what feels right for me, no matter what you say, right? Thank you for the advice and all of these different things. I have to listen to my own body. I have to listen to all of these things. So, the choice is yours. Of course, listen to your intuition and things like that. But when there's something serious in that, don't ignore it. Like, don't ignore it. Believe me, don't ignore it. So this is a new week, as I'm saying. So you might find like even on May the 4th and 5th, you could be doing more of that dark night of the soul. You could be like, and don't be hard on yourself, because you could find that, God, why didn't I do this? Or why didn't I do that? Let that go. Let it go. Reflect on lessons that were learned. Reflect on what changes you want to meet and make, deal with things. It's just like, you know what? Um, I worked on this or I worked on that. It didn't work. Or, God, why didn't I this? Don't do that. Life is a journey. That old saying that life is a journey. It's not so much about this. I argue with spirit every day. I do. And then I'm like, rush, I do my venting. And then I'm like, okay, okay, I get it, I get it, I get it. Right? Recreate goals. Recreate, but I didn't hit my goal, Jeni. I could have had this by now. Just don't worry about it. There's so many things that can throw you off track. We can be moving forward with our dreams or goals or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 we get hit with the roadblock. Like, it's like, I didn't see that coming, or how and how. We have these moments, as I mentioned, this is why you should watch these cosmic vibes, because I will tell you days, certain days and times when expect the unexpected, all of these things. Pay attention. When I know that's coming, I'm like, okay, I'm open to positive, new, unexpected opportunities. Even if it's something where it's something like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Oh, don't fear, because that's the universe bringing that to your attention. But okay, we got to review this. We got to fix that. We got to do this and that. Deal with it. Don't run. Don't run from situations, right? It's the worst thing you can do. Believe me, it is. Nobody likes to deal with major stuff. Of course not. Nobody does. But you very well could be going through that dark night of the soul, May 4th, May 5th. I mean, throughout this week, right? But it could even, like hit you even more and more and more. So what you're working on right now, like seriously, in May this week, you're going to see those results coming in October-ish, around that time, like mid to end of October. So if you set goals right now with whatever it is, you're going to be like, okay, you know what? The past is the past. That's where we learn our lessons. That's where all of these things, right? I'm going to restart again, or I'm going to start this goal, or I'm going to refix this goal or revamp it, whatever it is. You're going to see that coming more so in October, right? You will. Don't be hard on yourself. Like I'm hard on myself. Believe me, I am, and I'm like, for God's sakes, Jeni, you're on your own. You're doing everything on your own. Like, come on now. Like, but we learn, we grow, we evolve, all of these things, right? So just be a little bit passionate with yourself. Show yourself compassion, like, of course. But I'm just saying, so you might have more of that emotional. Now listen up. You know how I said expect the unexpected. May 5th and 6th, this is going to happen again. This can happen again. Maybe you're going to be like, wow, my life is really changing. Wow, I got the job, or I got the house, or like there can be really positive things when there's expect the unexpected. There really can be, right? However, when it can be like, you know what, those results came up and, we got to do this or whatever. And you can be like, oh my God, I didn't see that coming. Like, oh my God, right? It's like, okay, let's take a look at this. How can we fix this? For every problem, there is a solution as long as you don't run from it. There's life changes. So you could be seeing the numbers 555, like on a clock in different areas. 555 is life changes. We all have life changes, right? But, when I see 555, I'm like, oh my God. But, I'm like, okay, it could be really positive life changes. So no matter what it is, I'm like, you know what, Spirit, thank you for these positive life changes. I am open for new opportunities that are best for my higher self, highest growth, highest calling, and all of that. Whatever it is, if it's medical results, let's say, you're like, okay, I have to do something about this. I have to not run from this anymore. I have to deal with this. Let's face that. So, it's a really high vibrational day. So you could be feeling like, I got a lot more energy, like, wow, boom, I'm going to start my project. I'm going to start that huge life opportunity that's coming in. So really, really embrace it. Like really pay attention to your dreams as well. When you're waking up, because the energy is going to be different that day, really pay attention to what messages you're getting in from the spirit world when you're sleeping. And I don't get the dream. Like, oh my God, we can dream about our fears. Like your soul will purposely show up, show you your fears in your dreams. It can show you what you're subconsciously thinking about, consciously, all of those different things. And it can also show you future. So write everything down, like write everything down. You can always book a reading with me, and I will tell you exactly what messages are coming from that, right? But I always recommend just keep a kind of a dream journal really close by you, because as you're waking up, you're still in that other energy world and so on and so on, so you're still remembering things from your dream. Write down every detail you can think about, like every detail, right? Like this background, let's say, right? So if I saw this background, let's say it was all pink, and I'm like, okay, I saw that background, but why the color pink? So there's different energies and vibrations, colors and sounds to each energy. Energy is energy. So that's why it's like be very, very specific, and then I can help you decipher what that means. And you're going to be like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Right? So your guides and your angelic team, they do work with you and try to help you. It's like, gosh, Spirit, give me a sign that I'm on the right path, or that I shouldn't do this. Ask for signs. Your angelic teams, your angel teams are there, and they want to help you and guide you. And so, like, I'm going to be creating classes and stuff like that. It's going to take me longer because I work long days and I have a lot of things on the go, but it is something that I will be working on more and more and more. Right. So just kind of give you a heads up. Right. I am. I will be. That will make it really easy for you. So, anyways, really pay attention to that. Your intuition is going to be a lot more stronger, and just like whenever I go into deep trances myself, like, I'm like, I meditate every day and I go into trances. I never know what messages come through from the spirit world at any given time. And whenever I'm seeing things for myself, I write it down actually. Certain things I'm like, 'cause I did actually a couple of days ago, I started having this vision with myself, and I'm like, okay. So I started writing it down with all the details and so on and so on, you know, and I was also showing the date and certain things when certain things could happen and happening. And I'm like, okay, I write it down. And then you very well might see these things leading up, like synchronicity events, all of those things where different things could happen. So just write it down. You might not understand it or whatever, but when you write it down, you can always go back and look at it to say, that actually happened. We're all gifted in our own way. You have that intuition, right? That it's like your inner GPS system, your inner guru, your soul, gut instinct, all of that. Pay attention to that, because it's the messages that your soul's like, hey, we're trying to help you, we're trying to guide you and such like that. So the 7th and the 8th of May, it can be kind of a little off because more truth is coming to the surface, more secrets are getting exposed. I mean, there's no surprise about the media and the politics and all of that kind of bullshit. I mean, that's going to be continuing on and on and on. However, you're going to see more secrets being exposed with certain people that you know. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm seeing more truth with this person. Or, you could hear something and you're going to be like, oh my God, I had no idea. Wow. Like, I observe everything. I observe a lot of different things. And I'm like, thank you, Spirit, for showing me that. I don't confront certain people unless I feel I have to. If it's something around me or that, I observe and I'm like, I can see what you guys are doing. I I know the game. Like whatever it is, right? Or like it could be with anybody. However, this is a time for you to have to really, really pay attention to that. You could be like, you know what? I'm just done. I'm just exhausted with all of this stuff. I'm going to go. It's like the election in Canada. It's always rigged. I'll never vote again. I'm done with the game. Don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me going. But I'm done with it all. I don't have time to deal with dark forces. I really don't. Right? It is what it is. So, but this is a day that you very well could have another dark night of the soul. Like this whole week for you can really be more confronting for you. You could be like on the 7th and the 8th, you know what? I just need some space for myself. I'm going to turn off the world. I'm going to go for like, into a quiet area. Maybe it's a hike, Mother Nature. Maybe you're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to get away for a couple of nights, just away from this, and that. You could find you could be a lot more emotional as well as you're reflecting over on once upon a time ago, how life used to be, people that have passed on. You could be reflecting on your life with everything. It could be, that time where you're like, I just need some peace. I'm just gonna book time off. I'm just gonna turn my phone off. I'm just all of those things, whatever it is. Maybe some of you are going to be doing gardening, because you're going to want to be more grounded. You're going to be like, you know what, I need to get grounded because you're going to have more, like past situations coming up where you were feeling betrayed, past traumas and wounds and so on and so on. It's kind of like that Chiron energy, but your soul purposely brings up situations like this, and you could be having more like feeling more like a victim with certain events and situations that you went through yourself. So, I mean, the past is the past. You can't change that. All you can do is learn from it. What did I learn from that? Like, what did I truly, truly learn? And some of us have been through so much that we're like, oh, I'm exhausted. I just need space to myself, like I'm saying. Rejuvenate your batteries, like if it's working out, if it's, the more we move our body around, the more we're going to release stress because the cortisone's in your body, that's stress right there. And it can create blockages. It can create all kinds of roadblocks, of course. You know what I mean? So, it's like even when I had to go to my doctor, right? Just to give you just a little, I don't have high blood pressure. I never have. I had to go see my doctor the next day after the election here in Canada. My doctor's like, "Oh my God, Jeni, your blood pressure, it's so high." And I'm like, "Yeah, I wonder why." I never have had that problem ever. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not surprised. I can still feel it." I said, I got a lot of anger because I can see the bullshit in the game, how it's pre-rigged, all of these things. I said, isn't it funny how the internet started to go down in the world few days before the election in Canada and the night and everything like that really shows you just how connections are connected. It's like you play this game and I'll do this. You do this for me and I'll do that for you. Politics, believe me, So don't get me started. I'm a lot calmer down because I've let it go. But I'm just saying, there's certain things where you're like, what, is it really worth it for me to hang on to that anger with when I have no control over certain things, right? Because the only person you have control over is yourself and your actions, how you behave. And it's like, why am I allowing this energy or this entity or this situation to bother me when I really don't have any control over it? All I can do is my part and then surrender it. And if there's changes within yourself, let's say that you want to make, you're the only person that can make that happen. Start revamping things because you're going to find that you're going to want to start breaking old patterns, like no matter what it is. Like if you're like, you're on social media all day long, or if you're doing certain patterns and you're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, shift things up, recreate a day for you, right? Because really what you're working on right now, it's really setting a strong foundation for you for a very long time. It really is. Like there's different projects that I'm working on that are long time goals, like longer goals. It's not like boom overnight because the projects I'm working on are pretty major projects, right? So it's not going to be like projects that I'm going to see tomorrow or next month. No, these are long-term projects that I'm working on for myself, you know, for different reasons. I mean, you'll see them in time when they're ready. You know what I mean? And that, but in order for you to make the change, you have to take the change into you. There's something that I'm going to be, learning more about and studying and all of this kind of stuff, you know, because I'm like, you know what, I've talked to different people and stuff. They don't get it. They don't get it what I want and what I want to work on and put together. So I'm like, well, the hell with that. I'm going to work on it and learn it myself. Enough of this. Right. And as you start learning and stuff like that, then it's like, okay, then, you'll find other people that can help you with that. But, the universe is like, okay, well, we want you to start that because we want you to learn more about that so you can do it on your own, right? Without having to do all of these other things. And then you can, get other people to help you with this and this and that, right? Because you will find the right people. So we're letting people go and so on and so on. So you could be feeling a little scattered and uncertain as well this week with how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? All of these. Don't worry about how. Just start taking those baby steps, even. Like some people can boom, jump in and, do that race and make everything happen. Great. However, you got to go on your own flow. You got to go on your own rhythm. I mean, there's lots of things that I would like to work on myself, right? More. However, it's like my days are very busy. I have very busy days. So there's certain things I do have to put on hold or that I can't work on, right? So it's like go on your own rhythm, go on your own flow, and make sure you're taking time out for yourself because you're really going to be letting go of a lot of things you've outgrown. I mean, I've deleted a lot of different people who I was friends with on Facebook, let's just say. I saw a lot of ugliness coming out in certain things, and I'm like, I can't be a part of that. I can't, right? Just certain things. So there's certain people or situations that you have outgrown, and you could see that more and more and more this week, right? So just really pay attention. It could be a really interesting week. You're going to really be looking back and say, wow, look at my journey. Like really look at my journey that I've been on, you know, and all of these things. Boy, have I really changed because of that. Yes. When you're going through a transformation and or like traumatic events happen, you're not the same in the end. No, you're not. Because what you've been through, what you have experienced, it can really shake you up to where, you know what? I don't believe in this anymore. I've now seen, like, as more truth comes out, and exposed and so on, it does change people. It really does. Maybe you've seen your partner cheating on you all of a sudden. I'm not saying that, of course, to everybody, but these are just certain examples of wow, wow, I can really see the truth now. All of these things. What once upon a time I wanted is changed. Yes, that's your journey. You're evolving. You're changing. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing does, right? We all got to go sometime. I'm just saying, but you know what I mean. So, anyways, I'm going to pull a couple of cards, see what the collective has to say. I do not use cards when I do readings. I'm a clairvoyant, right? So I see whatever I want to see, right? And what messages come through from the spirit world. However, this is YouTube, this is collective. So, not everybody's going to like connect and agree with these cards. Of course not. Of course not, right? But I'm going to pull a couple of cards and see what messages are more so for you, that the universe. So if you connect with these cards, let me know. Please like my channel. It helps grow it and such like that. Um, right? Make some comments, subscribe. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards here from the Psychic Tarot Heart by John Holland. Let's see what messages Spirit has to say. The 2nd to the 8th. If you want to book an appointment, soulworkwithjeni.com. Ooh, take the lead. Take the lead. What did I just say? If there's certain things that you guys want to make changes with, like this week, as I mentioned, take the lead, make things happen. Like I'm making certain things happen myself because I'm not waiting for this or that or these people or no. It's like you've been wanting to get this going for quite some time, right? Things come together at the right timing, of course, right? But if you want to make changes, how are you going to make that happen? You have to be the one that takes that lead. You have to be the one that gets that going, starts it to make it happen. Take the lead of your life. Who's in charge of you? Think of that. Yeah, but what? No, you're the creator of your own destiny, no matter what, no matter what, right? Yes, sometimes we have to stall and work through things, and yes, that's life. We all have stuff we have to go through and deal with. Of course we do. You know, the more you run from things, it's going to get harder. I'm saying that for 1,000 reasons why. So let's talk to the Earth Magic cards here by Stephen Farmer. You're going to want to be more grounded this week. When you are feeling ungrounded, like try to go outside for a walk or get in touch with nature and so on. Like, would you rather kind of be in this environment here in the background or be in a city that's really, really, really noisy? Where do you think you're going to feel more calm and at peace? I mean, we all have, some people feel better, in a busy environment. But if you want to get messages coming through from your soul, you have to be in a quiet environment so you can hear those messages coming through, right? So, what are the messages from the spirit world from the 2nd to the 8th of May? What are the messages from the 2nd to the 8th of May? What are the messages from the 2nd to the 8th of May? 2nd to the 8th of May. 2nd to the 8th. Yeah. Wow. So isn't it interesting how we have another power card coming through? Is it not about taking your power back? There's people that like to control others, government, number one, the WHO, number two, and so on and so on. People like to control people to have more, I'm in charge. You know, are you going to take the lead of your life? Are you going to be the one that's going to make changes? Or are you going to stay where you're at? I mean, if you're feeling okay and you're feeling happy and whatever, of course, you cannot judge anybody for what decisions they make. You cannot. We all have that freedom to make certain decisions that we want to do and so on and so on. Of course, the government will hold you back with certain things. That's just their arrogance and ignorance. But anyways, right? I'm still working through that, as you can see, right? Don't get me going. But you're the one that can take your power back at any given time, and when you do that, you're gonna heal more, and as you are healing, you're also taking your power back. If we get like knocked down where you're in a hospital bed, let's just say, well, you're going to be feeling more vulnerable and stuff, and you're going to be feeling, wow, I can't go for my run. Well, of course not, right? However, as you're healing and stuff, you're getting stronger. And you're going to be like, now I can start working on this or do this, and that. Just like my doctor. Seriously, 45 minutes I was talking to him, you know? So, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, don't, no, I'm not. I have the right to say yes or no. He can give me all of this advice on this and that. I'm the one who's going to say yes or no. Like, listen to your own advice. Listen to what you feel is right for you, no matter what, no matter what. I'm saying, like we all have that freedom of choice to make certain decisions, and you have to go by, what, I'll do that. I have to trust in you. I have to, I don't know, like, I'm not going to know until I do this or that, and so on and so on and so on. Right. And sometimes we have to surrender situations like I have no control over that. I have to do this or I have to get that done. Yes, of course, of course, of course, of course. Right. But still stand in your power and do the righteous thing that feels right for you. I've let a lot of people go actually this past week, like, or past few days. Like for those, yeah, I've really unfriended a lot of different people and just even blocked certain people and so on and so on. I don't want to be part of it. So, anyways, I'm going to pull one more card here. Actually, I'm going to pull this one. I have decks here that I was drawn to, but I kind of go by what energy I'm drawn to as well. So I'm going to pull the Oracle of Portals by Tess Whitehurst. Make sure you guys clear your cards as well before you start using them, like I clear my decks before. So the 2nd and the 8th of May, what is the message from the spirit world? Message from the spirit world, 2nd to the 8th of May. Whoa, no, I didn't feel that. 2nd to the 8th of May, what is the message from the spirit world? Not a power card, but it is really. Peace. Wow. What a suiting card. I said you very well could be wanting to have that stillness, that quiet time. I just need some space to myself right now. So you can find your inner peace. So you can hear the messages coming through from your soul, whatever it takes. You know what I mean? It's to find that peace within. It truly is. Because when we're feeling more peaceful within, that's your soul talking to you and guiding you. Do what it takes to stay at peace. Do what it takes to feel calm, where you have your grounding, no matter what it is. Like, no matter what it is, like, just write down, just vision, what would make me happy? Like, what do I really want to do? Just start writing it down. It's like that vision board and goals and stuff like that. Just start writing stuff down. Don't worry about how and when. Sometimes, yeah, we have to set certain goals to, okay, I want this done by this date, of course, but long-term goals, short-term goals. This is a universal 8-year, or 9-year, I should say. So it's all about completion, completion of relationships, completion of cycles, completions of jobs, completions of connections, like so many different things, right? So this is the time right now when you're going to want to find that inner peace and do what it takes to find that inner peace. Stay away from negative energy, stay away, because who you surround yourself with, you become. Like, I do my photography, as I meant. I'm not no pro, but I do photography as a way for me to meditate, to find my inner peace. And I'm like, Jenny, can I come with you? No, it's one of my ways I meditate. Like, being at a beautiful location like this, oh, I would be in heaven, like, just heavenly. I can tell you that. I like more of the quiet environments, and I'm not a city person, as I've mentioned forever. I am in a city right now, but it's just the way it is, the way it is, you know, because of all the restrictions and anyways, don't get me going on the government. So, but so just find your inner peace, you guys, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel. You know, like make some comments, like the video, let me know what's going on with you guys, and so on and so on. And you know, how many of you are going to want a free clairvoyant reading? I'm right here live on YouTube on the 31st, offering free clairvoyant readings, 12 noon Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. So follow me on Instagram, Jeni Ji Cousins, right? I'm not taking friend requests on Facebook that much anymore. I've actually deleted a lot of stuff. You can try, you can send me a request if you'd like. You know, I have, you know, a public profile on Facebook, and I have two different accounts that you'll see my name, right? Look at both of them, you know, because one of them I don't access that much really. One of them is connected to my phone. So, but anyways, that's up to you guys. So you want to book a reading, soulworkwithjeni.com, and I will catch you guys all shortly. Namaste.